31 comment cards, 31 different guests. Room 407. Every single one wrote the same 7 words. She is still in the bathtub. Room 407 hasn't had a bathtub since 2016. I need to back up. I need to tell you how I got to those cards, because if I just say what I found, you're going to think I'm making it up, and I need you to understand that I am not the kind of person who makes things up. I spent 19 years behind a front desk. I balanced folios. I reconciled credit card batches. I ran night audits where the numbers had to match to the penny or I wasn't going home. I don't do stories, I do spreadsheets. The Courtyard by Marriott off I-70 in Topeka, Kansas. You've driven past it. Everyone's driven past it. It's the one next to the empty lot where the Sears used to be. Before Sears became a memory, and the lot became a place where teenagers park on Friday nights to do whatever teenagers do in towns where there's nothing else to do. 148 rooms, 5 floors, interior corridors with taupe carpet that looked fresh in 2018 and looked tired by 2020. The lobby had a bistro station. That's what Marriott calls a counter with a coffee machine and some wrapped pastries, and a flat-screen TV bolted to the wall that was always on the Weather Channel with the sound off. I liked that. I liked the silence of weather happening to other places while I sat in my lobby and nothing happened at all. I started at 20, laundry attendant at a Comfort Inn in Lawrence, 40 minutes east on the turnpike. I folded sheets for 2 years until my hands smelled like industrial bleach even on my days off. When the Courtyard opened, I applied for front desk because it paid $3 more and the uniform was a polo shirt instead of scrubs. I worked days for a while, then swings. Then I took the night audit because it came with a $2 differential and my daughter needed braces, and braces cost more than you think they will. The night audit is the loneliest job in hospitality. You come in at 11. The evening shift hands you a drawer count and a list of things that didn't get done. A noise complaint on the 3rd floor, a clogged drain in 2 and 18, a guest who wanted extra pillows but housekeeping was already gone. You handle what you can. You smile at the last few check-ins, usually road trippers who misjudge the distance, business travelers who miss their connections in Kansas City. By midnight, the lobby is empty. By 1, it's just you and the ice machine down the hall doing its 15-minute dump cycle. By 2, you're running the audit, closing out the day's charges, posting room and tax, reconciling the folios against the PMS. The PMS is the property management system. Ours was Fosse, old, slow, green text on black screen, DOS-looking. It held everything. Reservations, guest profiles, room assignments, billing, housekeeping status, maintenance tickets. If it happened in the hotel, it happened in Fosse first. I trusted Fosse more than I trusted most people. Fosse didn't lie. Fosse didn't forget. Fosse just recorded what happened and let you sort it out. I found the cards on a Tuesday in February. Not because anything dramatic happened, because the GM asked me to do a quarterly review of guest feedback. We had a wooden box at the front desk, the kind that looks like it belongs in a dentist's office. Guests could fill out a comment card at checkout and drop it in. Most didn't. The ones who did usually wrote things like room was clean or Wi-Fi was slow or the pool smelled like chemicals, which, yes, the pool smelled like chemicals because it was a pool and pools smell like chemicals. I sorted the cards by room number. That was my system. I had a spreadsheet. I told you I'm a spreadsheet person, where I logged recurring complaints so the GM could see which rooms needed attention. 4th floor was usually quiet. Rooms 401 through 420, standard kings and doubles, nothing special. But when I got to 407, the stack was thick. I pulled the first card, handwritten. Neat block letters, the kind a man writes when he's trying to be legible on a form. 7 words in the comments section. She is still in the bathtub. I pulled the second card. Different handwriting, loopy cursive, blue ink, feminine, same 7 words. She's still in the bathtub. Third card, pencil, shaky, like an older person or someone writing in the dark. She is still in the bathtub. I stopped sorting. I went to the back office and pulled every comment card box we had. We kept them in file boxes by quarter, going back years because nobody ever told us to throw them away, and nobody ever asked to see them either. I pulled every card marked room 407. 31 cards. The earliest was from September 2016. The most recent was from January 2024, 3 weeks before I was sitting there holding them. Every single card said the same 7 words, not similar words, not a paraphrase, not someone is in the bathtub, or I heard something in the bathtub, or check the bathtub, the exact same sentence. She is still in the bathtub. The S in she was always capitalized. There was always a period at the end, but the handwriting was different on every card. I could see it. Loopy, angular, cramped, expansive, left slanted, right slanted. One card looked like a child wrote it. Big wobbly letters, the kind a 7-year-old makes when they're just learning cursive. One was in all capitals. One was so small I needed my reading glasses. 31 different hands, writing the same sentence like they were copying from a blackboard that only existed inside room 407. I checked the dates. They weren't clustered. September 2016, December 2016, March 2017, July 2017. Scattered across 8 years, roughly one every 3 months, which tracked with how often guests actually bothered to fill out comment cards. Not every guest in 407 wrote one. Most didn't. But every guest who did, every single one, wrote those 7 words and nothing else. I put the cards down. My hands were steady. I want you to know that. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't scared. I was confused, which is different, and which is worse in some ways because fear tells you to leave and confusion tells you to stay and look closer. I pulled up room 407 in Fosse. Standard king, non-smoking, 4th floor, east wing, renovated July 2016. The renovation note was brief. Full bathroom remodel, tub removed, walk-in shower installed, new tile, fixtures, vanity, completed 7/18/2016, tub removed. Room 407 hasn't had a bathtub since July 18th, 2016. The first comment card was dated September 3rd, 2016. 47 days after the bathtub was pulled out and hauled to the dumpster behind the loading dock. I sat there for a while. The lobby was quiet. The ice machine hummed. The Weather Channel showed a cold front moving across Nebraska. I should have put the cards back in the box and finished my spreadsheet and handed the GM a clean report with bullet points about Wi-Fi complaints and pool chemical levels. Instead, I went back into Fosse and pulled the guest history for room 407. Not the recent guests, the old ones. I scrolled back to July 2016. I was looking for the last guest who had a bathtub in that room. The folio was still there. Fosse keeps everything. Guest name Diane Hargrove. Checked in Tuesday, July 12, 2016 at 4:47 p.m. Rate government per diem $94 plus tax. Confirmation number, credit card authorization, room assignment, all normal. 1 adult, no vehicle on file, estimated departure Wednesday, July 13th. But she didn't check out on Wednesday. The next activity on the folio was a room and tax posting for a second night, July 13th. Then a third night, July 14th. Then nothing. The checkout field was blank, no departure date, no time, no clerk initials, but the folio showed settled, balance. Payment, credit card ending 471. The settlement timestamp read 3:11 a.m., July 14, 2016. 3:11 a.m. I've run the night audit for 19 years. I know what happens at 3:11 a.m. The answer is nothing. The audit batch doesn't run until 3:30, Housekeeping is home, the front desk is me, and the ice machine. Nobody settles a folio at 3:11 a.m. unless a guest walks down and checks out. And if a guest walks down and checks out at 3:11 a.m., there are clerk initials on the transaction. There were no clerk initials. The system field read, Auto. Foss settled Diane Hargrove's folio by itself at 3:11 in the morning, and I couldn't find anyone who remembered why. I should tell you about Diane Hargrove, or I should tell you what I found out about her, which isn't the same thing, because what I found out doesn't add up to a person. It adds up to a gap in the records shaped like a person. The PMS notes for her stay were minimal. Check-in standard, room preference none. Special requests none. The only note was on the housekeeping log for Thursday, July 14th, 2016. One line, no staff initials, no incident report number. Just this, room 407, guest unresponsive, see management. That's it. That's all Fossey had. I've seen incident logs for clogged toilets that were more detailed than whatever happened to Diane Hargrove in room 407. I called the Topeka PD non-emergency line during my lunch break the next day. Told them I was the night auditor at the courtyard, and I was doing a records review, and I had a question about an incident in 2016. The woman on the line typed for a while and then said yes. There was a report filed for that address on July 14, 2016. Death investigation, natural causes, no foul play suspected. I asked if I could get a copy. She said the report was sealed by family request. I asked if she could tell me anything else. She said she couldn't. I thanked her and hung up. So a woman named Diane Hargrove checked into room 407 on a Tuesday and was found unresponsive, dead, let's call it what it is, by housekeeping on a Thursday. In the bathtub, presumably, given what 31 comment cards seem to know. Her folio auto-settled at 3:11 a.m. with no human override. And 2 months later, guests started writing 7 words on comment cards that they had no reason to write. I went to Maria next. Maria ran the housekeeping team. She'd been at the courtyard since it opened in 2009, before me, before most of the current staff, before the taupe carpet and the LED panels and the bistro station. Maria knew every room in the building the way a mechanic knows an engine. She could tell you which rooms had the loud PTAC units, which ones got afternoon sun that faded the drapes, which ones had mattresses that were due for replacement. I asked her about 407. She was folding towels in the laundry room. She didn't stop folding. She said, I don't clean 407. I said, what do you mean? I mean, I don't clean it. I don't assign it. When 407 checks out, I put it on the board for turnover and someone does it, but it's never me. Who does it? She shrugged. Whoever's on that floor. They never complain about it. They never say anything about it. They just do it. I asked her why she didn't clean it herself. Maria had been a housekeeper before she was a supervisor. She still cleaned rooms when they were short-staffed, which was often. She knew 407. She'd cleaned it hundreds of times before. She set down the towel she was folding. She looked at me the way you look at someone who's about to step on a nail. She said, that room cleans itself. I waited for her to explain. She didn't. Maria, what does that mean? It means what I said. I go in after checkout, the bed's made, the towels are folded into those little fan shapes that none of us do anymore. We stopped doing fans in 2017. Brand standard changed to trifold, but 407 always has fans. The trash is empty, the bathroom is dry, the shower is spotless. I don't need to clean it, so I don't. I asked her about the bathtub, about Diane Hargrove, about 2016. Maria picked up another towel. I don't know anyone named Diane, and that room never had a bathtub. Maria, it had a bathtub until 2016. The renovation records. I've been here since 2009. That room has always had a walk-in shower. She went back to folding. I stood there for a minute and then I left because I could see she was done talking, and pushing Maria when she was done talking was like pushing a wall. You'd wear yourself out before she moved. I tried the day shift front desk agent next. Kevin, 23, business major at Washburn, worked the 3 to 11 p.m. shift. He said room 407 sold fine. No complaints at check-in, no complaints at checkout. Guests just checked out, returned their key cards, and left. Normal. He'd never read the comment cards. I said, "Have you ever been inside 407? He thought about it. Once. I had to do a wellness check last year. Guest didn't answer a wake-up call. I keyed in, she was asleep. Normal. Did you notice anything about the room? Like what? Like the bathroom. It's a bathroom. Shower, sink, toilet. I don't remember anything weird. Did you notice if the towels were folded into fans? He looked at me like I'd asked him about the meaning of life. I didn't check the towels, so I went back to Fosse. Because Fosse doesn't forget, and Fosse doesn't fold towels into fans, and Fosse doesn't tell you a bathtub never existed when the renovation invoice says it did. I pulled the room status log for 407. Fosse tracks room status in real time. Vacant, occupied, out of order, dirty, inspected. Every status change is time-stamped. I filtered for 407 and exported the last 12 months. The pattern was there. I didn't see it at first because I was looking at the whole spreadsheet and it was just a wall of status changes. But when I sorted by time of day, it jumped out like a fire alarm. Every night, every single night, for as far back as the log went, room 407 status changed from vacant to occupied at 3:11 a.m. Then at 3:58 a.m. it changed back to vacant. 47 minutes. Every night, whether the room was booked or not, whether a guest was in it or not. I scrolled back further. The log only went back 18 months. Fosse purged older entries to save disk space, which is the kind of thing a system from 2004 does. But in those 18 months, there were 547 nights and 547 occupied to vacant cycles. Not 546, not 548, 547 out of 547, every single night at the same times. I checked the out-of-order periods. In March 2023, room 407 was blocked for 5 days for a carpet stain treatment. Fosse showed the room as out of order during the day, but at 3:11 a.m. each night, it still flipped to occupied. At 3:58 a.m., it flipped back to out of order. The carpet treatment crew came in each morning and found the room exactly as they'd left it. Tarps down, furniture moved, stain treatment drying. But Fosse said someone was in there for 47 minutes in the middle of every night. I put in a help desk ticket. I called it a system glitch. The regional IT guy remoted in 2 days later, looked at the log, said it was probably a legacy trigger left over from a software update, and said he'd escalate it. The ticket number was HD 2024-00847. I checked on it a week later. Status, unable to reproduce, closing as intermittent. But it wasn't intermittent. It happened every night. It was the most reliable thing in the building. More reliable than the ice machine, more reliable than the elevator, more reliable than me. 3:11 a.m., 3:58 a.m., vacant. 47 minutes of someone being in a room where no one was. I pulled the security camera footage. We had 16 cameras. Lobby, front desk, parking lot, pool, all 5 hallway corridors, elevators, stairwells, loading dock. Camera 9 covered the 4th floor east wing hallway, which included the stretch from the elevator bank to rooms 401 through 410. I reviewed 3 nights, random selection, a Tuesday, a Friday, a Sunday. On all 3 nights between 3:11 a.m. and 3:58 a.m., the hallway outside 407 was empty. No one walked past, no one entered, no one left. The door didn't open, the door didn't close. The do not disturb light on the electronic lock, the little red indicator that shows when the deadbolt is thrown from the inside, was not illuminated, but the PMS said occupied. I sat at the front desk and stared at the monitor bank for a long time. Camera 9 showed the fourth-floor hallway, taupe carpet, flat LED panels, room doors like a row of teeth. Nothing moved. The ice machine at the end of the hall was between dump cycles. The hallway was the quietest thing I'd ever seen. I decided something then. I don't know if it was brave or stupid. Probably stupid, because brave people have a plan, and I just had a question I couldn't stop asking. I was going to stay in room 407, not during a shift, on my night off, as a guest. I was going to book it under my own name and sleep in it and see what happens at 3:11 a.m. from the inside. I went into Fosse and made the reservation, Tuesday, February 20th, one night. My employee discount code. The system accepted it without complaint. Room 407, Standard King, guest name my name, confirmation email sent to my personal inbox. I printed a blank comment card from the stack at the front desk and put it in my purse. I don't know why. I think I wanted to see if I'd write the words too. I think I wanted to prove that I wouldn't. Tuesday came the way Tuesdays always do in Topeka in February. Gray, flat, wind off the prairie. I worked my regular shift Monday night, drove home, slept until 4, and drove back at 9:30. I didn't tell anyone. I pulled into the guest lot instead of the employee lot and walked through the front door like a civilian. Kevin checked me in without comment. Key card, paper sleeve, enjoy your stay. I almost laughed. The room was normal. King bed, white duvet, P-tack unit rattling under the window. I could see the Waffle House sign from here. Yellow light across the dark. I checked the bathroom first. Walk-in shower, glass door, chrome fixtures, white subway tile. No bathtub. The renovation blueprints showed the original bathroom was larger. When they pulled the tub, they'd moved the wall 8 inches. The shower occupied half of where the tub had been. The other half was just floor, white tile, clean and empty. I set my phone alarm for 3:05 a.m. I took the blank comment card from my purse and placed it on the nightstand. I lay on the bed fully dressed, jeans, sweater, work shoes, because I had a feeling I might want to leave quickly. I didn't expect to sleep. I did. I woke at 2:51 a.m. No alarm. My phone was still on the nightstand, screen dark, alarm set for 3:05. I woke on my own the way you wake when your body knows something is about to happen. Not a sound, not a feeling, just a sudden full consciousness, like someone had flipped a circuit breaker inside my skull. The room was dark. The P-tack unit was off. That was unusual. It cycles on and off throughout the night, and the silence when it stops is the kind of silence that has weight. I lay there and listened to nothing. The hallway outside was quiet. No ice machine cycle, no elevator ding, just the hotel at rest, the way only someone who's worked nights knows a hotel can be at rest. Not silent, exactly, but suspended, like the building is holding its breath between shifts. 3:11 a.m., the sound started, not like a faucet turning on. It started the way water starts when you open the tap just barely, a thin stream hitting porcelain, echoing in a deep vessel. A bathtub. I know the difference. I've lived in apartments with paper walls my entire life. A shower sounds like rain hitting glass. A sink sounds like a waterfall in a bowl. A bathtub sounds like the ocean filling a canyon, slow and deep, with that resonance that comes from a large curved surface and 6 inches of gathering water. The sound was coming from the bathroom. I turned on the bathroom light. Walk-in shower. Glass door closed, fixtures off, drain dry, but the mirror was fogged. Not the whole mirror, just the bottom half. The way it fogs when there's warm water in a tub below it, steam rising and hitting the glass at waist height. I touched the mirror. Warm. I touched the tile floor near where the bathtub used to be, where the wall had been moved. The tile was damp, not wet, damp. The way a floor feels when water has been standing on it and wiped away, like someone dragged a towel across it once, quickly, the way you do when you're getting out of a bath. And the sound was still going, water filling a tub that wasn't there. I could hear the level rising, lapping against the sides of a porcelain basin that existed only in the space between the walls. I went back to the bed. I sat on the edge and looked at the nightstand. The comment card was still there, white rectangle against dark wood. I didn't touch it. I sat and listened to the water fill a vessel that had been pulled out and hauled to the dumpster 8 years ago. At 3:58 a.m. the sound stopped. Not the way water drains. No gurgle, no spiral, no last sip going down the pipe. It just ceased. 1 second the water was lapping against porcelain. The next second the PTAC unit kicked back on, and the hallway ice machine started a dump cycle, and the hotel was a hotel again. 47 minutes. I looked at the comment card. It was no longer blank. 7 words, written in handwriting that was not mine, rounder, more deliberate, the kind of cursive they taught in schools in the 1970s. The kind where the loops connect and the T-bars float and the I-dots are little circles instead of points. Blue ink. Not a pen from this hotel. We stock black ballpoints. Blue ink, medium point, the kind that comes from a pen someone carried in a purse for years. She is still in the bathtub. I picked up the card. My fingers were steady. 7 words in blue ink, in handwriting that wasn't mine. Rounder, deliberate, the kind of cursive they taught in schools in the 1970s, where the loops connect and the T-bars float. Not a pen from this hotel. We stocked black ballpoints. She is still in the bathtub. I put the card in my purse and walked out of room 407 and let the door close behind me. The automatic lock engaged. Then, through the door, I heard the manual deadbolt turn, the one you can only throw from inside the room. I rode the elevator to the lobby. The overnight guy was in the back running the audit. I went behind the desk and pulled up Fosse. Room 407. Status, occupied. Guest name mine. I closed the folio. I processed the checkout. The system asked the standard departure prompt. Rate your stay 1 to 5. I clicked past it. I clicked past the email survey. I clicked past everything until the folio said settled and the room status said dirty and the guest name field was blank. I picked up my purse. I picked up the comment card, card number 32. I walked out the front door into the parking lot. The air was cold and dry and smelled like prairie and diesel from the trucks on I-70. I got in my car and drove to the Waffle House because old habits are what you fall back on when you don't know what else to do. That's the story. That's why I left. The waitress hasn't said anything for a while. She's holding the coffee pot. The clock on the wall behind the register says 3:11 a.m. I notice the time because I always notice the time now. I will always notice 3:11 a.m. for the rest of my life. She asks me which hotel. I start to say the name and I stop because I can hear water running, not from the kitchen. The kitchen is behind me and the grill is off and the dishwasher isn't cycling, not from the bathroom. The bathroom is across the dining room, door closed, no one inside. Just water, running somewhere that isn't anywhere. A bathtub filling in a building that doesn't have bathtubs. I pick up my coffee. My hand leaves a sweat print on the ceramic. The coffee is cold. I've been talking for a long time. I reach into my purse and put the comment card on the counter between us. White card, Marriott Bonvoy logo. 7 words in blue ink, in handwriting that isn't mine, written on a card that was blank when I set it on a nightstand in a room where there is no bathtub. She is still in the bathtub. I still have the card, I say. Number 32. I don't tell the waitress the hotel name. I don't tell her the room number. I don't tell her that the hotel is still open and room 407 is still selling, and that tonight, right now, while I'm sitting in this booth, the PMS has already flipped the room status to occupied, and the water is running in a bathtub that was pulled out of the floor 8 years ago. And somewhere in that room, a blank comment card is filling up with 7 words in handwriting that belongs to a woman who has been dead since July of 2016. The waitress pours my coffee. She doesn't ask again. She goes back to the kitchen.